Hello, I'm Dinus the Mirror.
Jennifer, that is what is needed as we saw another year of climbing violent crime statistics.
Homicide numbers in the city of Atlanta from 2021 are the highest they've been in 30 years. According to APD's Week 52 crime report, the department investigated at least 156 homicides in 2021. That's about a 3% increase from 2020 and a 64% increase over 2019.
The previous homicide record of 241 was set in 1990. This was according to a report by CNN. As for other violent crimes, aggravated assaults were up 9% from 2020, and the department is also reporting a staggering 39% increase in rapes. Mayor Dickens vowed to initiate a plan he is calling Safe Streets, and he wants to hire about 250 APD officers by the end of 2022. Also train new and current officers on conflict resolution, de-escalation, and community policing, and increase street lights and security cameras across the city.
So this week, Amazon suspended Black Lives Matter from its charity platform, Amazon Smile. Now, the tech companies say they failed to tell them where $60 million in donations has gone.
As Amazon spokesperson say, Black Lives Matter will be deprived from funds raised on Amazon Smile until they are back in compliance. The suspension was first reported by the Washington Examiner, and auditors first made their concerns known when no one was able to say who handles their finances and financial records were not released.
Well, we would love to get your views on
yes,
this.
we would absolutely love to get your views on.
What do you think about the suspension, etc.? But let's just start with you. What do you think?
I think it's astonishing. I think many of the people like myself and others who criticised Black Lives Matter from the beginning, I don't like to say that I feel vindicated, but I do slightly. I mean, it's an organisation that wants to abolish the family, defund the police, despises capitalism, and wants to socialise young people into a very resentful and negative view about the society to which they grew up in, despite the fact that we live in a society that has made profound leaps and bounds when it comes to actually ending discrimination. Not completely, there's still a long way to go, but we've come very, very far. And I think that they seek to sow division and resentment. And when we saw that the leader of Black Lives Matter having a multi-million-dollar property portfolio, when you have cities and states within America who have crime rates akin to war zones in the Middle East, some parts of Chicago, I think it really says something. And $60 million is a lot of money, like a lot of money. I think even if they picked one city where they said, you know what, all this money we're going to invest in education, policing, community organising, to genuinely improve the material lives of those people, to show that what investment can actually do, they haven't done that. And I think whilst I take no pleasure in the fact that this money has been lost, it's very sad. Very sad.
No, it's very sad. It's very sad, and obviously you don't want to see this money lost or, well,
because people donated in good faith.
Well, but lots of people who didn't have a lot of money will have donated as well. That's always one thing that strikes me when you watch things like children in need or comic relief or whatever. Very often the people who are doing a lot of the donating could really do with keeping that tenner for themselves, that family, and they do it out of the generosity and the goodness of their own heart. And so, to see it like this, it's a strange one, because if you look at it in the round, look, Black Lives Matter have not been able to say where this money's gone. We can't speculate too much, I imagine, on all of this. But there was a big push there for a period of time in America that really whipped up a lot of hatred, a lot of societal division, a lot of looting, violence, anarchy, and in the UK, of course, as well. And probably if you're going to do that and you can't say where that money's gone, hang on a minute, is that all right, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Amazon are taking these steps, but I do think many of these corporations have some complicity, really. I mean, many of them were amplifying Black Lives Matter. They were putting hashtag Black Lives Matter and were promoting the organisation, despite many people saying that this is an organisation that is very questionable.
And does the Premier League continue to take the knee? Do we all take the knee all the time? Do we continue to do that now? Because, hang on a minute, what kind of organisation were people kneeling for?
Yeah, human lives matter. That's what I think, that we should be valued for our humanity, not our skin colour. And that was the message that I thought we all agreed on up until seemingly very recently.
What cemented your decision? You say you were back and forth. What got you over that hump?
Well, it was the text message from Bill Belichick that confirmed a lot of the things that I believed were going on for, blacks, minorities in the hiring process, that interviews that blacks and minorities were going on were, we weren't getting a true opportunity in those interviews to showcase our abilities, and me personally to showcase my abilities. So to walk into an interview where a decision's already been made, that was the tipping point for me.
It's interesting that Bill will be in the know to that degree. Why do you think that is?
Again, I do think that there are back channel conversations, back channel meetings that are had that oftentimes influence decisions, and I think that's a clear example of that. Here's Bill Belichick, and his resume speaks for itself. He has influence. So I think to me that it was clear that decision was made with his influence, and that's part of the problem. And that needs to change. There needs to be a fair and equal opportunity to interview and showcase, like I said before, showcase your abilities to lead and earn one of those positions.
And what you're doing is so monumental. I commend you. You're the first discrimination lawsuit in the 100+ year history of the league. Yet I've been hearing about these kind of discrimination acts for over 20 years now. And that's just since I can first be aware of it.
From a football standpoint, I'm gifted in this. I love coaching. But to speak out, to file a lawsuit, put something that I'm so passionate about, that I know I've made an impact as a coach, as a leader, on young players. It puts all that in jeopardy. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that. But again, I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about those other coaches who don't feel like they have this voice, and that younger generation that needs to see more people that look like them in head coaching, GM positions of power.
So Colin Kaepernick spoke out about police brutality, and he was essentially blackballed. Do you think he'll be blackballed from the NFL?
I hope not. But if there's significant change, if I never coach again, but there's significant change, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it, in my opinion.
The Bicentennial celebration for Liberia is marking 200 years of free slaves from the U.S. returning to West Africa and making their way to a place they named Providence Island and the founding of Liberia on February 6 in 1822.
Liberia is the oldest independent and democratic republic on the west coast of Africa. This was a prime spot for its new citizens, a place to be free and call home.
The love of liberty unites us here. Liberia is a place of liberty.
Those who settled established significant places like Lot Carey, named after the Baptist minister from Charles City. They created a similar flag to the U.S., named the capital city Monrovia after James Monroe, the U.S. 5th president, who supported the work of the American Colonization Society, establishing a home for the free slaves, one who became president.
In the case of Joseph Jingy Roberts, who left from Norfolk and his family moved to Petersburg, he became one of the visionaries for Liberia. He served twice as president of Liberia.
On Sunday at 11, the Bicentennial event kicks off with a virtual worship service with Dr. Rodney Waller, pastor of First African Baptist Church, followed by a wreath-laying ceremony at 4 at the J.J. Roberts Marker in Petersburg, and the launch of an early childhood and teachers training endowment fund with the Go Ye Ministries and the Virginia Baptist Foundation.
The fund is to encourage and provide quality education for children, particularly living in villages. And then also to encourage and develop trained teachers who will nurture and meet the needs of children who are seeking quality education.
To get more information on Liberia's bicentennial events in Richmond, visit goyeministriesliberiausa.org or the Virginia Baptist Foundation. Antoinette Essa, working for you, CBS 6 News.
Greetings. I hope all is well. Hope your morning, afternoon, wherever you're at, night is going well. Hope your day started off great and is ending great as well. This has probably been the worst Black History Month on record. Crime in our cities is at an all-time high. You know, Black Lives Matter, they ran off with the bag. You know, coaches, NFL coaches, athletes, millionaires are still complaining or claiming that they're treated like slaves, but they're millionaires. But for some reason, you know, the conditions in their millionaire leagues are inhumane. But there's been one shining example, shining light that has saved Black History Month. And that is the Bicentennial celebration of Liberia. Thank God, because this celebration, this 200-year celebration has saved Black History Month. The founding of Liberia by Black Americans who decided to take their legacy in their own hands and no longer deal with racial terrorism and return back home to their home of Africa and develop a nation called Liberia. They were given nothing. I mean, they built Liberia out of nothing. That should be celebrated. At one time, Liberia was an example on not just how a Black republic should operate or be ran, but how a republic in general should be ran. And this feat should be celebrated. And guess what? It's still there. Yes, Liberia is having its issues, but Liberia is still there. It has withstood the test of time. Now, many people say, well, Dinus, you know, Liberia isn't Black American history. Yes, it is. Again, Liberia was developed and founded by Black Americans, for the most part. Yes, you have some from the Caribbean, but for the most part, that foundation was built by Black Americans. Therefore, it should be celebrated as a part of Black history. And thank God we have the Bicentennial celebration, because it has saved this terrible, miserable, dismal Black History Month. Thank God for Liberia. Thank God for this celebration. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.